Well, hi everyone, and welcome to my shop. And in a moment we're going to be in my office, in fact. So I have made, or attempted to make anyway, an improvement to the antenna here in my shop. And we're going to give it a go on this radio. And here's the improvement. Now if you take a look at that, you'll see there's just a wire connected to the antenna here. And the wire goes up through this connector and gets in the center wire of this piece of cable. Okay, and that piece of cable travels. I'm not sure there's enough light for some of this. Along here. Yeah, it's a little dark. We don't worry about that. And into my office here. This is the wire here, and a little hard for you to see, but there's the connection here on this switch. It is also just a little dark there. Now you can see a little better, the switch. So that switches it off, and that switches it on. And the antenna is on this splitter. The other side of it here, just a short wire, and goes to this radio right here, this little radio. Actually, this is a very good radio. I paid more money for this radio than any radio that I've got. Look, it's just a little box. And all it's got is an on-off switch. So this radio is run by my computer. And we're going to start by taking a look at how signals are coming along using this radio. Right off the same antenna. Here's the display for the radio. Okay. Let me just get it squared up fairly good. That's a little bit of an eyeful, so I'm just going to take you through it really quick, but really we're going to focus in this part here. But first, here's the frequency that I'm tuned to. And here's a signal strength meter here. And here's where I'm going to dial in the number that I want, but I can't use my finger up here. I have to use my mouse. And we can do a lot of really cool things with this radio because of this display. So let's take a closer look at the display. Let's see if I still get the frequency in there. Yeah, that's about as close as I can get. And still have it in focus too. So anyway, so we're at 17,575. That yellow line is what we're tuned to. So that yellow line represents 17,575. And this is below and this is above. So these are stations or signals on either side of it. I have it muted, as you can see right here, but I'm going to unmute it and we'll have a listen. Okay, so that's just some kind of noise, and there's a ton of noises like this coming from, I'm sure, all the computers and stuff like that. So I just pick a few of these. And what we're going to do is we're going to hunt down the some broadcasts. Okay, so now we're just listening to the noise here, and you can see how low it is. It's interesting to make a note of how high this noise level is. It's pretty low because we're up at a pretty high frequency, and it's what time is it? It's 9:30 here in the evening. So I don't expect anything up at 15 megahertz. So we're going to jump down to this 125 meter band. I'll punch it in here. Okay, so right away you see a difference in the noise level. But here's something. See these two guys here? Let's click on one. Okay, let's try another one here. Now, by the way, you can notice the AVC action on the radio by If you click on that strong signal, you'll see the noise level generally drop. Watch, I'll just click here in the noise, watch. See it come back up? I go back on the signal. This is not a very strong signal. Not much going on up here. Okay, so let's go down to the next band. That'd be the 31 meter band. About 9.5 megahertz. I'll just check a few. You might want to start keeping your eye on the meter at this point. See, it's getting right up in the red. This one looks a lot stronger. Look at that. Look at that. I've had this radio for years and I've almost never seen a signal that strong. Don't know if I ever have actually seen one. That's plus 60 decibels over. Somebody get their calculator quick. So that's a very strong signal. So 9580. What this means is when we go in to try the other radio on this antenna, we can look in this area. Now, how many stations are there like that along here? Let's see. Let me put the attenuator on, so that cuts the signal back, and you can see there's lots of stations here, strong stations. So we should, if we can find 9.7, I think we can find it on the other radio because there's no dial. That's a bit of a problem, isn't it? Okay, let's go down another band. We'll take a look. Next band down would be 41 meter band. 7.3 would be a good place to jump. 7.3 megahertz. And now, some of the strengths that we're seeing as we go down the bands, a variation in the strength rather, it could be because of my antenna. It's tuned to certain frequencies and not others, like all antennas. Okay, that's just a little annoying. I'll just turn that off. And then we'll go down one more to the 49 meter band. And that's 6.0. Now, I'll enter. And take the mute off. And now look, the noise is actually gone. Now let me turn the attenuator off. Oh, there it is. It's a pretty strong signal too. This one's stronger. Look at that. Holy smokes. I'm going to blow my radio front end here. Okay, so what do we learn? Okay, what we've learned is the three or four more common evening bands that we were just checking have all got strong signals on them. Some of them have very strong signals. So that's what we should expect on the other radio. So let's go back into the shop here. Oh. We'll give this guy a go. Okay, first I got a couple new light bulbs to put in. Go. Okay, volume is down. Let's put the power on. Safety check. Okay, we're on with current limiting to start. Lights look good. We'll take it up to full. Not much difference in fact. Now we have to play the band guessing game a little bit. Something funny going on here. How do you like that? You remember I left the rectifier tube alone when I think I pulled most of the tubes out, and you got to pull that out. Check the pins on it. Okay, that was a little bit of a scare, wasn't it? But so we think that's phono, FM. Let's just check. Wow. Wasn't that exciting? That was there last night too, wasn't it? Okay. FM's got something weird going on. This is AM. Okay. That's going to be shortwave.
Of course, nobody wants to hear what I have to say, but it's the only plan. We need to look carefully at the way we are. No way! I am Tommy said.
It's ham radio. Single sideband. That's teletype. Kind of in the background there was something else. I don't know. Yeah, there's still teletype out there in the world. And Magic Eye is responding. I don't know if you can see that or not.
And poured out a blessing. I'm talking about those people who talk strictly in the tangible. God or talent?
Hemos reposado años de ciencia. Esto se integraría como doctor en este texto.
They will return to China in June of this year. For CRI, I'm Jordan Lee.
The world is constantly changing, so join us now.
Poured out the tangible on me, and you can. But I'm also telling you.
The lusts of the flesh, through weakness, the ones who have actually
Change bands. Okay, the capacitor is fully closed at this point. Okay, I got the volume up full. It's much quieter, this band. What was that? What was that? Wow. My neighbors will come over. I wonder what's happening here. I have to do a more thorough tube pin cleaning job here than what I've done so far. You can hear me wiggling each tube. And I don't want to touch that. Hey, I should try the FM again and wiggle the tubes a bit. Okay, a little more volume again. Mysteriously quiet. A little less volume. Blow my ears out. Well, I fixed it. Nothing going on this band. I think that's the situation. Could be an alignment issue, or it's just because it's the higher band. A little boring staring at the eye there. So I'm back on the band that seemed to have so much. Let's see if it still does. Oh yeah. Well, I'd say ABC is weak. Because this really should be closing right up, quite dramatically. Well, that's a pretty good, I think that's a pretty good outcome. I think having a fairly decent antenna on here, I should make a little movie of what my antenna looks like. It's not that big a deal. It's just a dipole antenna with two 15-foot legs. It's just above the roof of my house. It's extended off my electric service standpipe, believe it or not. It's just a pole. So it's just sticking up from there. There's nothing special about it. But something like that makes a big difference over just being in a shop like this. So anyway, I think that's a pretty good result. We'll be doing more on this radio, and maybe we'll get it going on the higher band too.